Jesse Lingard has finally signed for Nottingham Forest. I make no apologies for doing one final video on the matter because, quite frankly, I got the ump about it. Not the fact that he's joined Nottingham Forest. I'm really annoyed at how the last final day has played out, whereby he's wanted to join Nottingham Forest. He's gone and joined Nottingham Forest, but somehow it's trying to be spun that West Ham were his first choice. I don't like the way the club have been led merry dance, basically. I don't like the way that really David Moyes has been strung along for such a long time. Maybe Moyes was a little bit naive, but nonetheless, he's our manager. He's my club's manager, and I feel a little bit protective of him, and particularly the way this has been played out through social media. So I just really want to highlight a few things that have gone on and look about it in the real world. Because the problem is with Jesse, he's cryptic. He's very cryptic. I'm going to explain why. The trouble is when you're cryptic and you don't just come out and say stuff, people are going to read into the stuff that you hint at and you suggest. And make no mistake about it, Lingard has been doing an awful lot of hinting. I did a video about it a few days ago. Here's my understanding of how things played out this week. Now, I believe that West Ham, and I may be wrong, okay, but this is just the information that has come to part. And let's be fair, both parties have been happy to leak information about this. You put it together, look, you might put 2 and 2 together and come up with 6, but I think it might be 4. Put it this way. I'll tell you what wasn't 4, it was the offer of money to Jesse Lingard. Now, as I understand it, West Ham tried to put a deal together on a 3-year deal at £150,000 a week for Jesse Lingard. That works out, I don't know if they were signing on bonuses or whatever. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. Who knows? Let's pretend there wasn't. Let's just take that. Highly unlikely there wasn't, but let's just take that. It's about £24 million, right? On Monday, as I understand it, Jesse Lingard was happy with the offer from West Ham United of £24 million. That's Monday. I mean, he was TikTokingly happy. Let's be fair. He's dancing around. We'll get to the TikToks and we'll get to the Instagram posts or the tweets, whatever it is, in just a second. But I mean, he seemed to be happy enough with it. West Ham was his first choice. And then what happened is Nottingham Forest have come along with a bigger offer. When I say a bigger offer, I believe it's a 1-year deal, but it's worth more. It's £200,000 a week. Now, they are well within their rights to do this. I've got no gripe with Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have got to do what Nottingham Forest feel they need to do to stay in the Premier League and have a really good season. No problem with that whatsoever. But make no mistake about it, on Monday it was enough money for Jesse Lingard. By Wednesday it wasn't. Now, my understanding is that basically there was some negotiation, and this is what has been leaked. You'll have all have read it by now, and it's been leaked to numerous different outlets that there's some contact between Jesse's team and David Sullivan, allegedly, and that basically they were trying to say, give us some more money, get close to Nottingham Forest's 200 grand a week, or whatever the case may be. Whatever Nottingham Forest bid, the Lingard team said, get close to that and we'll sign for you. Now, I did a video earlier on and basically said, I don't blame us for, look, have a limit and don't go above it. Between Monday and Wednesday, the goalposts got moved. And why should he? Look, hey, look. If I'm going into a sports shop, right, and I'm going to go and buy myself a new pair of Speedos, a new pair of budgie smugglers, and I say to the shop assistant, excuse me, how much are these fine briefs? And he turns around and said, oh, do you know what? They're the last ones here, I'll do them to you for a tenner. I'm just about to pay, and someone comes up behind and turns around and says, excuse me, I'll pay 15 for them. I don't expect the shop assistant to turn around and say, will you match that £15? No, I think, hold on, I'm buying these, I'm already there. Right, you just don't renegotiate like that. That's what Jesse did. Jesse's done the best for himself. Jesse's done the best for his team. I don't mind him doing that. What I don't like is the fact that he's pretending that actually, oh, I've not gone for the money. I really love West Ham. Nonsense. Let's just not pretend about that. Right, let's go back to those tweets. Let's go back to the Instagram post. Sorry, not Instagram. What's it? The old TikTok. That's it, the TikTok. Do you remember me describing it to you? I'll put up a couple of stills. It's cryptic. We don't know. We have to read something into it. So Jesse Lingard comes out of his house. I guess it's his house. He's doing this. There's thought bubbles. He can't decide. I'm reading into it. That first bit of the sketch is he's undecisive. He then walks up to 2 cars. One's a nice car, one's an old banger, right? He looks at the nice car, he looks at the old banger, he gives it a bit of that, and then basically he chooses to get into the crap car. Now, again, it's cryptic. There's music playing in the background. What are we going to do? Well, because you haven't come out and said it, Jesse, we're going to read stuff into it, right? So we all read into it, and lots of us do. He's not going for the money. That was it. He's not going for the money. Now, at the time, we didn't know about Nottingham Forest, so we thought the good car, the nice car, was the MLS, who were giving him big wages, and the crappy car, the old banger, was West Ham. So we all thought that, but it was very much Jesse, regardless of whether you think one car was Nottingham Forest, one car was West Ham, even take West Ham out of it. I'll tell you what I do know about that, even though it was cryptic, it was basically saying, I'm not choosing the money, I'm not choosing the money. Well, I tell you what, he might well have got in that Honda, but that Honda was taken down the scrap heap. It was given the old crusher, and he got back in. Not only did he get in that posh car, he bought himself a brand new Lamborghini. That's what's happened here, right? Because actually, the money has been chosen. That's exactly what happened here. And I don't blame him for choosing the money, but don't pretend, if you're going to choose the money, don't pretend that you're the bigger man. Don't pretend that actually money doesn't count. Don't pretend that you're making the right decision, the decision of the heart and all the rest of it. It's just nonsense. You can't be everything. And this is the point. You can't make the ruthless decision and not go to West Ham and take more money and then be Mr. Popular at West Ham. Because that's how it's being spun today. I really wanted to go to West Ham. It's your chairman's fault. It's this, that, and the other. Look, I've got no love for the chairman. I really don't. You want to dig in at David Sullivan. Listen, I'll give you 10 different reasons why you can have a pop at David Sullivan. But I'll tell you what, for not matching £200,000 a week is not one of them. I said it in the video earlier. There are very few players on more than 200 grand a week. You're talking the elite of the elite here. And a couple of people mentioned, and they said, well, hold on, it's a free transfer and the rest of it costs less anyway. Well, it don't cost less if you're paying 200 grand a week. It really doesn't, okay? The whole point of the free transfer is you get it a little bit free and it's a cheaper deal. We start spending out 200 grand a week on players, it's going to mean we can't buy someone else. And let's be fair, it's depressing enough already as it is trying to get players with all the broyer talk and all the rest of it. You just can't be all things to all men. That's one of the posts. Now, when I did a video on Wednesday, before I actually published the video, at the point of me publishing the video or uploading it, he'd done another tweet or an Instagram post. You have to excuse me, I get one confused with another, right? And what it is, he posted, I'll put this stuff up here on screen because I'm going to screenshot it now. Basically posted a picture of a chicken shop called the Chicken Run. And underneath he wrote something like, if you know, you know. I'll find it out. Now, here you go. Only one of two things is true. And bear it in mind, at this point, Jesse Lingard knows that he's linked to a deal with West Ham. He's in negotiations with West Ham. He knows that West Ham fans think he's going to West Ham. Right? Believe you me, I can tell you now from personal experience, Jesse Lingard's team are very, very hot on what's being said about their client. They know the stuff. This is the whole point. Jesse's team know that by moving to Nottingham Forest he's going to be unpopular. That's why there's a sort of control of the narrative. I mean, he's happy-go-lucky. He's hey, Jesse or whatever it is, and all of this stuff, right? I think they can probably preempt. He's probably going to be a little bit unpopular after this because West Ham fans rightly feel that he's led the club a merry dance. I penny for David Moyes' faults on this. Penny for David Moyes' faults. I really do. And I do. And this is why I'm annoyed, because I do feel that the club have been, not dragged through the mud here, but the club have been used. Absolutely used. I did my little video a little while ago about David Moyes saying leave it. Honestly, I gave the analogy. I gave the analogy of somebody going into a nightclub and he meets a woman. And the woman says, oh, do you fancy going home with me? And he turns around and says, actually, do you mind just waiting? I'm going to walk around the club. I'm going to spend all night in the club. If I can't pull anyone else, then I'll go home with you later. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, he goes up to her and says, do you know what? No luck tonight. I might as well take you home. That is how it was like. That is obviously West Ham and the old minger. This is what we're the old minger. We're the old minger at the bar. We're the nasty old banger. We're the nasty Honda Accord. By the way, I do say that my car is worse than the nasty car that Jesse Lingard got into, just to make that point there. But this is what annoys me. Anyway, so the Chicken Run, get back on track here. The Chicken Run post. Only one of two things is true. Either he knew about the Chicken Run and the history of West Ham, and it was a sneaky, very cryptic again, okay? Or he didn't know, all right? And it's just innocently, there's a shop in Manchester where he likes to get his chicken from as his favourite takeaway. Only one of those two things is true, right? Or it's a cryptic message to West Ham fans. Let's be really generous here. And because I don't believe this, I believe it was a cryptic message to West Ham fans. I think on Monday, he was happy. 24 million quid, I'm going to West Ham. He had his head turns, right? Fine. But at least admit you've had your head turns, right? what I do think, that what has possibly happened is, let's just say that actually he didn't know anything about the chicken run. I'll tell you now, at the point he posted the chicken run post, somebody would have said to him, because he's all over social media, the West Ham fans are getting a little bit excited here. Apparently, their old East stand at the front of it was called the Chicken Run. So even though you've just posted a thing about a takeaway, West Ham fans are thinking it means something else. Once he found that out, you'd change it, wouldn't you? You'd alter it. You'd put people straight. You'd remove the post. You'd do some clarification. We may just or whatever. You'd do something. But only once you're vocal on. So at that point, he's either done it on purpose or he didn't know he was doing it, and he would have been told. At the point when he was told, did he think, oh, hold on a second, no, I don't want him to get the wrong idea, I'll just clarify that? No, he didn't. He left it up there, just to tease a little bit more. That's what it feels like for me anyway. And I just don't like the way that this whole thing has been played out. And then we get to today, which is why I'm uploading this video now and not tomorrow morning's video, is I just don't like the way it's been played out. I really wanted to come to West Ham. They wouldn't match Nottingham Forest. I thought we didn't need to. We had an offer. We had an offer on the table, which evidently, because you were TikToking and posting about it, that apparently you were happy with. Not only apparently you were happy with West Ham's offer, you were coming down, you were flying down and all the rest of it. Apparently, as far as we know, the money's not the big thing to you, because, you know, they want, weighing it up. No, don't worry, I won't get in the nice flash car. I'm happy with an old Honda Accord and all the rest of it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's such hypocrisy. It's such mixed messages. And I think the one thing that really annoys me, and Moyes has got to take some blame for this, because I do believe that we didn't pick anyone up in January because we still thought that Jesse Lingard was going to come. We really, really did. We still thought that on the last day, because apparently we made a bid on transfer deadline day in the winter window, the last transfer deadline day, so the last one, that is the last day of the transfer deadline day, right? We made a bid. I think if David Moyes had known for the past 18 months, there's definitely no Jesse Lingard coming in, he would have done something else. He really would. But honestly, we've been strung along. David Moyes needed to be a bit more wise than that. But I do have sympathy with him as well. I mean, maybe he's just guilty of believing what he was told. Maybe he was. But the truth of the matter is, and I said this, and it's not like I'm saying this in hindsight, I've done numerous videos on this, which is Jesse Lingard is waiting for the best offer, or a better offer than West Ham. And if nothing else comes along, he'll join West Ham. And that's exactly what has happened. That's not to demean Nottingham Forest. Great tradition. What Clough did there was nothing short of remarkable. Really, really cracking team. If you're not going to go and watch a documentary about it, it's nothing short of amazing. I think it was back-to-back European Cups that Forest won, actually. Amazing. Big club. I think they've signed the first ever £1 million player, I believe, was Trevor Francis, signed for Nottingham Forest. Big club. Big history. Wonderful. All right. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But I'm sorry, at the moment, they're not in, for the last 10 years, I say 10 years, probably 20 years, West Ham have been a bigger club than Nottingham Forest. That's just the way it is. Jesse Lingard has gone to Nottingham Forest for the money, £200,000 a week. Where they've got it from, I don't know. Good luck to them. If they've got but you know what? If they've got a more ambitious owner than them, you know what? Again, good luck to them there. I wish maybe we had a little bit more money to spend. But that being said, even if we had that rich owner, there's something about me that would have said, no, don't pay him. Don't pay him that money, because for all of this and all of the tweets or Instagram posts and all the TikToking, and there's been a lot of flirting over the past 18 months, it's come down to a completely predictable outcome. There's one thing I hope, and let me just finish on this, by the way. The one-year contract, right? That's a worry. 1 year contract at Nottingham Forest. Even that. So, I remember when I was listening to, I think it was Talk Sport yesterday. I was stuck on a flaming traffic jam in 25, right? In my old banger. And people were talking about why would Jesse Lingard go to Nottingham Forest. Most people were saying money. But then there was a couple of people saying devil's advocate. Oh, maybe he's going there for the long-term project. They've got a good manager there. He was the previously under-21 manager. They signed Brennan Johnson on, who's one of their best players, really good player. Maybe he's signed for the project. That was people's counter-argument to, has he signed for the money? Well, he's not signed for the project. He signed a 1 year deal, apparently. So, I might be wrong. That's just literally the news, the article that's in front of me right now. A 1 year deal. He's not signed for the project. He's signed for the money. He's going to reassess his options next year, which means come January, the circus starts again. possibly, let's be fair, and we have to be out of this. We absolutely have to be out of this. And actually, I have some sympathy with Nottingham Forest because they may well find themselves in a situation that West Ham have found themselves in, which is, this is the point, he's making a mercenary decision. Apparently, Manchester United offer him a contract. He loves Manchester United. Manchester United is his favourite club. I understand that he didn't want to sign there because it was a football decision. I'm not going to accept that because what I want to do is play football. Well, okay, then it's a footballing decision, or is it? But now he's made a money decision. I don't know. He didn't sign a contract at Man United, didn't sign a contract with us. I don't know. It just seems that this is going to be going over and over again. And I certainly think over the last 18 months, he's become more of a social media presence than a footballer. And I'm sorry, when you're going to put this stuff out there and it's going to be cryptic without a clear message, that, hey, I'm here talking on YouTube, that, listen, anyone can put anything out that they want, but I do think you need to make your point. And I do think you need to say it as it is. And if he's going to be all cryptic and he's going to post crossed hammers here and pictures of a chicken run and do all these things that he does, then people are going to read stuff into it. And I tell you what, I can't handle it anymore. Whilst I am disappointed that Jesse Lingard hasn't basically made a truthful statement, he's just come out with hints and all the rest of it. I don't like the way that the narrative has tried to be spun today at all. I would have liked a statement. We ain't going to get one. I tell you what, I quite like one from West Ham. I really, really would. I mean, the one I would like from West Ham, I don't care whether it comes from Moyes or it has to come from Moyes. The board can't tell Moyes that he can't go for a player in the future. But I would like some reassurance actually from Moyes. Not just for me and for us fans, but almost for Moyes himself, that actually I'm not going to do this because in 6 months' time I'm not going to be back interested. I'm not going to be chasing Jesse Lingard. I mean, and obviously he's 30. I've got this vision of Jesse Lingard being 45 years of age and playing for the dog and duck, and David Moyes still trying to sign him. Oh, come on, Jesse, come on, give us one last hurrah. Remember how it was. Remember the 9 goals in 16 games. Look. I don't know, I'll tell you what, left a very, very bitter taste in the mouth. And I think if we didn't get Breuer, I'd be gutted because I really, truly, I really want him. I really, truly believe that he'd be a good signing for West Ham. And don't get me wrong, I think that Lingard would have been a good player for West Ham. But the fact that he really doesn't want to be here, that I don't like that. Cross-reference that with someone like Flynn Downs, who he lives and breathes West Ham. He wants to be at West Ham. Every fibre of his being, he wants to be at West Ham. Right? I mean, what a breath of fresh air that was to somebody that doesn't want to be here. Do you know what? You don't have to want to be here. You don't have to love West Ham. You really don't. What I do take total offence to is you not wanting to be at West Ham, you choosing the money, you going somewhere else, and then somehow being offended and trying to spin the story and wishing that West Ham fans would still love you and actually that West Ham was your favourite club all along. I mean, for that to be true, you would honestly have to think that all the fans are completely stupid. Really do. That we just soak this stuff up. Honestly. Anyway, you can tell. That's it. I don't know how long I don't know. I got my glasses on. I don't know how long I've been ranting for. It's shorter amount of time than I thought, to be perfectly honest with you. Seemed like I was going on for an hour. And to be fair, I'll probably be going on about it for months. That's it. I'm done. No more. Good riddance. But help me out here, Moisey. Help me out. I do not want to have in 6 months' time some new links. What we've got to do is going to get a different attacking midfielder, whatever. Get a winger. Get somebody else. And let's just all try and forget about the Jesse Lingard show.